Very few people I know would say that they sleep soundly throughout the night on a regular basis. Before I started on YouTube and video production, I actually sold mattresses for about 6 years and learned quite a bit about sleep and the science behind it. Today I'm going to be going over the most common problems I've seen in people's sleep routines and how you can start sleeping better on a daily basis. Let's get into it. Your diet has a lot bigger of an impact on your sleep quality than most people realize. The two easiest fixes I've found for this is to avoid caffeine in the afternoon and avoid sugar before bed. I try and have a hard stop at 3 p.m. for my caffeine intake for the day. I think if most people can bump that back between noon and 3 p.m., they're going to see a huge benefit in their sleep quality. I've also noticed a significant impact on my sleep temperature and my sleep quality if I have too much sugar too close before bed. So try and cut those sweets back to the first half of the day along with your caffeine, and you'll probably be sleeping better soon. I'm gonna sound like a 90-year-old man right now, but I've implemented a pretty strict 10 p.m. bedtime for myself. People focus a lot on their morning routines, but having a set nightly routine and schedule is crucially important to make sure that you're feeling rested. This is also a great way to be able to work towards not needing an alarm clock in the morning. If you're giving yourself enough time to sleep and be fully rested, you're most likely not going to need to wake up with that annoying buzzer. There's tons of different sleep tracking tech and apps that can help set your bedtime every night, so make sure and utilize all the tools that you have available and get to bed consistently every night. Any kind of light exposure at night can dramatically affect your hormones that get released that help you fall asleep. This is a lot easier said than done, but if you can put away your screens for the hour before bedtime, you'll probably see a dramatic difference in how sleepy you are when it is time to actually fall asleep. Doing things like breathing exercises or listening to podcasts are all great things to add into your nightly routine. If you really can't get away from having something to look at, reading a physical book or getting an e-reader with an e-ink screen is a great way to avoid that nasty blue light that affects your hormone releases. You really should be exercising on a regular basis for your health anyway, but incorporating some regular exercise into your day-to-day routine, you should see a great benefit in how sleepy you are when it is time for bed. A lot of us are sitting at work on our desks all day and then sitting on the couch watching TV when we get home. You need to use your body and kind of tire yourself out. It makes such a big difference. I always notice anytime I skip a few days of working out. So get to the gym or do some home workouts or just go for a walk or a hike. Lots of options to get your body active and moving. It's really good for your mental health too. Nothing is worse than letting the stressors of daily life kind of keep you awake and thinking at night. I used to struggle with this so badly when I was younger, and I think it's something that is often the biggest culprit over anything else. You have a lot more control over your destiny than you probably realize, so just start taking a look at your day-to-day and try and remove as many of those stressors as absolutely possible. It's not going to be an overnight fix, but over time, if you start thinking with that more positive mindset and realize that you are able to make changes and do things for yourself and do things for your own greater good, whether it be physical or mental or any capacity. Pets can oftentimes disrupt our sleep far more than we realize. I'm still guilty of not following this step. My cat Wolfie sleeps on my feet every night, and not only does he not let me move around or turn during the night, but he also wakes me up in the middle of the night sometimes to eat breakfast. Now, if you sleep with your pet and you don't have any issues, don't even worry about it. But if you find yourself having more and more problems and not feeling rested, it might be time to find another solution and another place for your pet to sleep. I used to see this all the time with the clients I worked with. They would have two 90-pound dogs sleeping in their queen-size bed with a husband and wife, and there just really wasn't enough space for all of them, and it made all of them miserable. So look into alternate solutions, find something better for them to sleep, and give yourself the bed back. Getting blackout curtains for your bedroom can be a life-changing experience. This is usually the biggest thing that'll impact a hotel night's sleep. It's actually the lack of light while you're sleeping that'll have a bigger impact than the bed itself. Similar to the screens that we talked about earlier, that ambient light can really play a huge role in the hormone imbalances for sleep time. When all the lights are off in your bedroom, you should not be able to see any furniture or be able to navigate through the room. If you live in an apartment like I do and can't really put up blackout shades, using things like a sleep mask can mitigate a lot of those problems, but something to keep in mind, there are sensors essentially on your body that aren't just your eyeballs that will be affected by that light. So make sure that your body is completely covered by blankets and you have a sleep mask on, or get blackout shades for your bedroom. It's a life-changing experience. You want to aim for an ambient room temperature of 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. You can cover up with as many blankets as you need to, but it's very important to keep your head exposed to that ideal temperature range at night. If you're someone that already sleeps in a cool environment and are still struggling with heat, I would reevaluate your diet like we mentioned earlier, but then I would also make sure and invest in some quality breathable bedding. There are tons of mattresses that have a lot of really great cooling technology, but in my experience, all of the other external environmental factors cover about 80 to 90% of most people's sleeping temperature problems. Your bedroom should really be for sleep and sleep only. I know this can be problematic for people that might live with roommates or live in a dorm or whatever the case may be, but you want to try your best to keep that bedroom space just for sleeping. If you find yourself working in bed and watching TV and doing all of these activities that have your brain moving, when it comes time to go to bed, your brain is going to get back into that headspace. If you keep it just a quiet, calm space to rest in, your brain will have a lot better time kind of shutting down and going to bed instead of staying up and thinking all night. I put this tip last because although it is important, there are so many other factors that go into your sleep quality that don't cost any money. Nonetheless, it's important to make sure and invest in a good quality sleep system. And I say sleep system because it's not just the mattress. You want to make sure and have a quality mattress that's going to support your spine properly and take away any pressure you might feel, but you also want to make sure and invest in a good pillow. A good pillow is arguably going to be more important and a much better value than a mattress, so I would make sure and start there if your budget is tight. About 30% of your spine is in direct contact with your pillow, so it's important to make sure and get that area taken care of, but you also want to get a good mattress if you can afford it. I'm not going to recommend any specific mattress brands or anything at this time, but just go out and try and test a lot of different things. And contrary to what a lot of good marketing strategies will tell you in the bedding industry, it really is a you get what you pay for sort of scenario. So a cheap bed, whether it's from an online manufacturer or a brick and mortar store, is going to be a cheap bed. So invest in the best that you can and just make sure that it supports your spine and takes away the pressure. Sleeping doesn't have to be as difficult as it often is for a lot of people. I'd love to hear down below in the comments if you've had any specific problems or if you've come up with any specific solutions to your sleeping problems. I know I am guilty of not following all of these myself, but after years and years and helping thousands of people, these were the most common problems I saw across the board for most everyone. Hopefully these tips can help you get some relief. Thank you all so much for sticking around and watching the video. Be sure to give it a like if you enjoyed it, but I'll talk to everyone next week.